Hey.
Okay.
Wonderful. I'm with Chip Morton. I'm so excited. I'm a huge football fan, Chip. And so you're the strength and conditioning coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. And my husband grew up in Cincinnati area, Kentucky, and so he's a huge Bengals fan. So
Okay.
I watch almost all the games.
All right. All right. Thanks for supporting us.
Yes. And so now when we're watching the game, are you actually on the field during the game?
Yes. Our game day responsibilities, mine in particular, people for the term get back coach. That's kind of one of our main things on game day. But beyond that and behind the scenes, it's more of a support role. Our work is done all year round and during the week. And on Sundays, for the strength staff and myself, I have an assistant and 2 part-time assistants. We're there really as support for the players. So warming them up, getting them ready, stretching them, make sure they're hydrated and fed, psychological encouragement, whatever it might be. We're kind of behind the scenes. It's not easy.
Well, if it were easy, anybody could do it, right?
So it's arduous, and if you start on a Sunday and stand on the sideline and watch the game, the speed and the forces involved, the impact forces, and that's why not everybody can do it.
Right.
And then see them come in on Monday, our players come in on Monday after, basically, I guess it's been equated with driving a car into a wall at 30 miles an hour. That's kind of the impacts you get. So to see the degree of soreness and brokenness, so to speak.
Well, I watch the games. I mean, they take some tough hits.
Right. So we train through they treat them. The athletic training staff, the medical staff, treat them, train them. We train them. Tuesday's a day off. They come back Wednesday. Now they're feeling a little bit better. So it's a progression from they come in Monday and they can be pretty beat up. And then it's progression where they start feeling good again by Friday.
Right.
And then you do it all over again.
And then they have their toe tapping lunch.
Toe tapping lunch, which gets ready for the Sunday. But in our division, the AFC North, it's arguably the most physical division in football right now.
Wow.
And we have 4 division games in a row. We're in the midst of 4 in a row with Cleveland this weekend. And the demands on our players, particularly after our division opponents, you can just see the difference when we play Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Cleveland. That next Monday, I'm sure they are too.
Now, how is it different training and getting them prepared for artificial turf versus grass?
Well, some would argue just the wear and tear on their bodies, just running around. Just go ahead and stand out here for an hour, and you'll feel, man, my low back's tight.
Because there's no give.
I guess, and then we practice on it occasionally. We try to stay off of it, but. I think it's not so much preparation for it as kind of bringing back the workload so they can get through it. In other words, it's not a question of more, doing something differently. It's, in a sense, it's can we back off a little bit to keep it fresher since we're going on the turf.
Wow.
The turf game.
Wow.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes perfect sense. Let me just look at my notes here.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of what you're saying, because my listening audience is the average, American. Some are fit, some are not so fit. So, I mean, a lot of what you're saying can apply directly to them. So, do you have any tips for us regular Joes?
I always start with do what you love. Find an activity that you really enjoy, because then you'll be more consistent with it. The idea of everybody wants to start out, particularly this time of year, with Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, and I'm going to do this in January, I'm going to join this club, and they go like gangbusters and either overdo it and create soreness, or it's just an unsustainable regimen, routine. So I would say be realistic, number one. Find something you enjoy doing. Any activity can become cardio training if it's done appropriately.
You don't just have to go to the gym.
Correct. There's walking, running, swimming. There's all types of activities. So I would do some strength training, and I break it down once again. You have to squat.
I got to do my squats.
You have to hinge.
I hate those squats.
You have to push, you have to pull. Incorporate those movements, whether it's body weight, dumbbells, kettlebells, sandbags, stones. In my house, we have a number of different size garden stones. It's not arranged in any particular pattern or artsy-fartsy way, can I say artsy fartsy? But 50 pound up to 70 pound, and I'll just do squats or presses or just mess around. And stones are inexpensive.
Right.
Sandbags, you make them, medicine balls. But so find something you love, be consistent with it, and develop a routine or a habit that you can sustain. Whatever that might be. Right. It doesn't have to fit doesn't really have to fit someone else's paradigm for what you should do, because that can be really frustrating. Strength training. Just move the body. We have to move.
Just move.
I mean, so much of the maladies that are affecting our society are because we don't move anymore.
Right.
We're becoming. I guess you can talk to some of the science fiction people, and they'll tell you that at some point we're going to lose use of our. We won't need our arms and legs because we're going to do everything by computer or whatever it may be. Now that's a little bit Orwellian, but the point is, in order to reverse that, we have to move.
Right.
We have to move. We have to stretch. We have to throw things. We have to jump. We have to run and play, so to speak. Let's start with that. Make it something you love and something that's enjoyable, and then be consistent. And then things all of a sudden now I start feeling better. Now I find a routine. Hey, I can make this work. It doesn't have to be 2 hours like I did in college. I go to the gym and work for 2. That's not realistic.
Right.
For me, it's 20 minutes a day. Different things. I get about 20 minutes, and that's fine. And it's sustainable. There'll be times when you'll have those exceptional periods of time where you'll have to devote big time to workouts. Maybe you're on vacation, you have more time to go work out. You're staying at a hotel, like a nice spa. So you'll have weeks and days where you'll have those great aha workouts. But for the most part, just be consistent. And find something you love and move the body.
Now, going back, and I promise I won't take too much more of your time, but I forgot to ask you when we were talking about the players and their nutrition. So about how many, some of these guys are big guys, I mean, any idea about how many calories they consume and then maybe expend? It's not,
everybody I think assumes that our guys, because they're bigger, they lot, and inevitably, like our vendors will say, I better bring a lot of food, and then normally they'll be surprised. Well, they ate like normal people.
Okay.
Our guys, they tend to like a lot of protein. They like protein. They like lean meat.
Well, they need it for their muscle.
Well, some would say. There's all kinds. Is
that not true?
You do for growth and repair. How much? That's debatable. There's all kinds of stuff. That's truly going to be a whole other segment.
Right.
There's all kinds of information out there on diet. You have the the paleo diet, where it's meat, leaves, and berries, and you have the zone that you have different configurations of how to eat. But our players, as a rule, they like protein. They'll eat vegetables. They love fruit. I think there's a trend in among certain athletes, and our guys are probably part of that group. We emphasize carbohydrate intake, but the right kind of carbohydrate. So big plates of pasta. That's not necessary for our guys, nor do they really care for that. We talk about portion sizes.
You're speaking the Bikini language.
Oh yeah, and I'm not sure who invented this, so it wasn't mine, but I'm going to pirate it anyway. Basically, you look at your hand, and protein the size of your palm. All right, fruits and vegetables, the amount in your fingers splayed, and then starches here. It's that much. So it's a little bit of it's an adaptation which I really like, and I wish I knew who invented it. I got it from some internet site.
Well, just say you did.
Well, no, I just can't take credit. But that kind of thing. So we'll, with most of our players, amongst the starches, since that's just a hot topic of debate, we'll present with pastas, potatoes, rice. We have some players that don't eat gluten or refrain from wheat products.
Right.
That's kind of a hot topic right now. So for those players, we'll have rice and potatoes available. But I don't overemphasize any one macronutrient. It's got to be once again a blending of things. It's got to be sustainable. It's got to be realistic. Just make sure you get enough energy. Make sure you're hydrated. Our guys are not big dessert guys.
No.
They're not big sweets guys, which is a good thing. And
that's
self-policed. I used to say no desserts, and then over the years I've kind of relaxed on that, but they're not big dessert guys. They like fruit for dessert, which is a great choice.
That is a great choice.
So all in all, I think the knowledge base out there is growing. depending on who you ask, it might not be, you know, there's still some urban legends on eating. But we just try to, once again, lean proteins, plenty of fruits and vegetables, and then moderate amounts of starchy carbohydrates. But you're trying to, you know, stay with whole foods, stay with healthy foods. If it's prepackaged or if it's blue or fluorescent pink, it's probably, if it's not, you know, if you can't tell what it is by looking at it,
right,
probably shouldn't be eating it.
You probably shouldn't eat
You know,
it, exactly.
So try to get things in their closest to natural.
Now this
form.
is your 20th season with
Yes,
the NFL.
Yeah.
So has your training changed over the
Absolutely.
years?
It changes every year.
Yeah.
You know, the blessing for me is that this is, you know, it's my job, but it's my passion as well, and it's my hobby. I mean, I'm not a golfer. I mean, for me, when I'm on my own time, I'm exercising or trying something new, or when I'm reading, more often than not, it's something in my trade. It might be scientific in training, but also I'm on the fringes of the internet fitness websites.
Right.
I just, in fact, this site, I won't go into the site, but I just got on this last night. I discovered yesterday at the end of the day, a kettlebell training site. Well, it was actually a fighting site.
Oh.
You know, self-defense and fighting.
Right.
Pretty hardcore.
I've always wanted to try one of those.
Oh, and this was a fringe site, but the gentleman is developing a DVD on kettlebell training, core stability for fighters. I mean, like real life fighters, like out in street fighters. Oh. So it's interesting. It's an interesting thing, and I just emailed him and asked him about it. But you have to be able to discern. This is my 27th year in the field. I started in college, but I like to read it all and study it all when I have time, because I might take an idea or an exercise or a concept or the way someone, like the food with the hand, you find an idea that, hey, that really makes sense. And I always tell my guys, I wish I invented it,
right,
but I didn't. But and get information that way. So part of my journey is always seeking more information, always trying to refine and update what I'm doing. So we want to provide our players with the best possible opportunity to succeed. I'm not the biggest guy. I didn't play in the NFL, so I don't have those things. Well, I played, or look at me. It's not like so. I've always had to do it relationally. That the players know I care. My staff cares. They also know that we have good information, and if we don't have an answer for them, we'll find an answer for them. And they know that we have high character and we'll be consistent with them. Right. So that's how over the years we've been successful, and really caring for our players. It's not about us,
right,
or what a great program we do. It's taking some of the best ideas and always updating those, and then presenting our players with what will meet their needs and promote their health and well-being and their performance and well-being.
That's fantastic.
So it's kind of a different.
Right.
It's not a meathead approach.
Right.
To training, but it's after 20 years.
It works.
By the grace of God, there's a certain amount of wisdom that goes along over the years, and we're still figuring it out.
So I'm the bikini chef. The show is Bikini Lifestyle.
Okay.
And it's fitness and food for a healthy bikini you, so you look great and feel great.
Yeah.
So will we be seeing you in your bikini?
I was a swimmer. I was a swimmer.
We will see you
so
in bikini.
Back in high school and college, you would have seen me in a small Speedo.
In a Speedo. Awesome.
I think those photos are all been destroyed. So I have a hard time finding those now. My mother might have some of those, but that's about it.
Well, wonderful.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right, great.
Can't wait to see your players on the field.
Yeah.
And
go Bengals, right?
Yeah, go Bengals.
Right.
Hooday.
That's right.
Right? Hooday.
That's right. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.